Hello everyone. For those of you who have seen my first video about the big bash afterwards, you know I have an emaxx 6x6 and I haven't done anything to it lately because after that bash video, after that day, I did break a lot of stuff on this. I've come to the realization that I have a couple design flaws. For something custom made, you're gonna have trial and error, and I figured out, what needs to be done to this, and I think I'm gonna do a big rebuild on it. Starting with, RPM. I'm gonna go arms, bulkheads, bulkhead braces. Shock towers I'm gonna leave stock. I have no issues with those. The bulkheads that RPM makes require a locking nut up top. With the stock emaxx bulkheads, they just get screwed right into, and a couple of screws have gotten ripped out because of jumps that I've made, and I need the RPM bulkheads because of the locking nut up top. It's going to hold that skid plate on. The custom skid plate, and so I'm gonna have the true tracks in the rear. Up front, I'm gonna have obviously ones that the front that I could steer with. So it's gonna be true tracks in the rear, RPM in the front, bulkheads, braces, and I believe that's it with RPM. The diffs are another problem that I've had an issue with. The stock diffs get torn up, a lot of torque that I put through this thing to get it going, and the diffs are the first thing to take the grunt of it, so they get ripped up pretty easily. So I'm going to do an Lst Dip Swap. The front and rear are going to be pretty simple. I've seen videos of of people how they fit the diffs into the RPM bulkheads. They are a pretty nice, easy, tight fit in there. But the center diff is going to be my issue, because I'm going to need two outputs, an input and an output for the front, from the transmission to go to the front, and then to put it out to the rear wheels. So I'm going to have to talk to a machinist to see if he would do a custom diff for me. If he's not able to do it, I can't do the diff swap because the Lst diffs have a different gear ratio than the stock emaxx diffs do. So I'm gonna have to keep them stock. But I don't see why a machinist wouldn't be able to do it. Other than that, I'm gonna do maybe a little bit of a different design back here for the rear. It's not a bad design now. It's just the screws get ripped out. So I'm gonna fix that up. Maybe a different body. The bed, I liked the bed that I had. Maybe a little something different, but the idea I'll keep. Mounting position I probably got to change up, because right now I only have them held onto this. I put a piece of metal across and drill in a couple screws to it, and those are only held in by zip ties. They do hold on until I go up a jump, flip it, and it rips the zip ties, which is not a big problem. Right now I'm using a GMC top kick body. I haven't cleaned it because I don't plan on using it again. I do want to go 8S. I've been using it on 6. Top speed on that's 45, which normally it's, 45 is just fine. But I always want bigger, faster, So I'll be hooking this thing up with an XL2 or an XLX ESC, whichever one I can get my hands on. Probably the XLX though would be easier. The suspension on here, it's perfect. It's dialed in. I don't have a video of it, but the wheels, when I'm hopping off curbs or going over bumps, picture a trophy truck going over dirt jumps. It's almost exactly what this thing looks like, and the suspension's great on it, so I don't need to mess with any of that. So I'll be doing a rebuild. I'll be taking this thing completely apart, starting from scratch almost, you know, from a normal emaxx. And you guys can follow along if you want to make your own. Feel free to just pretty much copy my idea. I'm thinking about 2 weeks from now I'll be able to make my first order, and I think that's just going to be all the RPM stuff I'll start off with. Or I'll start off with the diffs, just not hook it up or anything, because I need the arms and everything to put them into. Maybe I can get the diff started, you know, maybe talk to the machinist, maybe he can start making the center diff for me. Once that gets done, the diffs and the RPM arms and bulkheads come in, I'll be able to get this thing back together, and then pretty much be ready to go. Maybe a stronger servo, because I have a Savox high torque servo in here, but it doesn't turn the wheels unless there's a relief in pressure. So from a sitting position, it's not going to turn the wheels completely. It's until I hit the gas and it brings the front up, it's going to then be able to move the wheels. Or if I'm just rolling, it's going to turn into it. So I'm thinking maybe a monster torque servo from Savox. I believe that's got 600 ounces of torque, or you know, slightly less than that, which would be plenty to turn these things. Right now I think I'm using the servo that's only putting out 400 ounces of torque. I could be wrong. I'm not positive right now, but that's pretty much the what I'm going to be doing for the next month or two. This will be my winter project. I wish I had it running for the winter, but when I rebuild it, I want to build it right. I don't want to rebuild and then have to rebuild it again and again because I keep breaking it. Same problems, you know. The diffs are my biggest problem right now. So I'll keep you guys updated. You can expect a video in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to be ordering all the parts after Christmas is over, and then I'll get a video recorded up once I get the parts in, and we'll see how the process is going. Alright, thanks for watching.